it is, fellas.
What's up, brothers? IronSharpeneth Iron.
IronSharpeneth Iron. So this week we got a special edition. In this edition, we're going to talk about the media and the crucifixion of DeShaun Watson, right? So as many of y'all may not understand what's going on, DeShaun Watson was accused of sexual assault from all these women claiming to be, masseuses and all this. He was recently, exonerated. He wasn't indicted. They still got civil things going on. So we're just going to let y'all see, for those of you who don't know, we're going to let y'all see. And then we're going to show you how the media treats Black Israelite men in America. And we're going to go through all of this in this video. All right. So basically, let's go here and let's give y'all the first clip.
A grand jury in Brazoria County decides not to indict former Texans quarterback DeShaun Watson.
This second grand jury was hearing evidence in a case against Watson from one of the women accusing him of sexual misconduct. The decision also comes as DeShaun Watson arrived at the Cleveland Browns team facility today. The Browns are his new team after being traded from the Texans. Marcelina Benito is following this story for us. Marcelina, walk us through this latest decision.
Well, guys, a bit of deja vu for DeShaun Watson. Same decision. No criminal charges will be filed in this case. But of course, we're talking about a completely different county, Brazoria County. I want to get to the statement issued from the district attorney down there just an hour ago. His name is Tom Selleck. He is telling KHOU 11 News tonight that after a careful and thorough review of the facts and evidence documented in the reports prepared by the Brazoria County Sheriff's Office and the Houston Police Department, as well as hearing testimony from witnesses, the grand jury for Brazoria County has declined to charge DeShaun Watson with any crimes. Accordingly, this matter is closed. We know the grand jury had met yesterday to hear all of this evidence. It comes 2 weeks after a Harris County grand jury listened to 6 hours of evidence and testimony as well and opted not to charge DeShaun Watson either. We thought that was the end of the criminal investigations into the NFL star, but there was this one case outstanding. Now, the threat of any criminal charges related to sexual misconduct allegations during massages is officially done. Here's KHOU legal analyst Carmen Rowe with what this all means.
This is a huge victory for DeShaun Watson today. I mean, we have 10 different charges alleged and 10 no bills from 2 different counties. And I think anybody who looks at this would say, given the low bar that a grand jury reviews cases on, and this is a one witness case, that these complainants may not be as credible as once believed.
All right. So simple enough as we see, right? The man, not only in one county, but 2 counties. You know what I'm saying? He goes through here. He's basically, they say, she said a grand jury has a low bar. And they said, there ain't nothing to see here. Case dismissed. Move on, right?
Yep. Right.
But this is what we talk about, the foolishness that comes in with the media, right? And this is where
small head media.
Right. You see what I'm saying? And before we even start, let's go and take you to the history. We had done this in a video, the media before, but let's show y'all some historical context of why these small hat Jewish controlled media, what they done in the history of how they have attacked Black men in the media and what they do. Right. So let's go here and show you from a historical context first, and then we'll come back. All right, so as you can see, this is from the movie The Birth of a Nation back in 1915, right? And you see this white guy who was a Jewish guy who was dressed up in blackface. And they did this in 1915 when you first had movies. And this clip right here is what caused the rise of the KKK in the South, for them to start running around and trying to hang Black men, because they made it look like in this depiction of Black men wanting white women. So let's go and look and see what happened. All right.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. So she jumped to get away from this savage.
Yep.
All right, enough of this propaganda.
She would rather lose her life
Right.
from a big scary black man.
White man, white man in blackface.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
White Jew.
Yeah.
Small hat. Small hat
so you see what they did, and because of that, they played that movie all throughout there and enraged white people in this country. And they start running around here, and they got a whole bunch of people to join up with the KKK and start running down here and burning down black people's houses all throughout the South. This is historically what the media will do. You see what I'm saying?
And it's just propaganda, just like we talked about before. Now they have decided to make black men the face of sexual assault during this Me Too nonsense.
Yep.
Exactly.
Yep.
And so this is the point where we're going to show y'all now. Now you've seen that the man has been exonerated. The grand jury found him, you know what I'm saying, innocent. And first of all, you're supposed to be in this country innocent until proven guilty.
He's not innocent. They just didn't have enough. They didn't have enough. He's not innocent.
Now let's see the media, because that's exactly what we're going to see.
He paid his way out.
Yeah,
he paid his way out.
So let's go and show the people. Yeah.
Y'all voices are incredibly profound as it pertains to what punishment should come down the pike. I really feel that way. And so when I'm thinking about the National Football League, right? Here's my issue. Here's my question to y'all. At some point in time, again, what do you think should happen? Because we're talking business ethics and we're talking about the NFL lacking it, but we're also talking about a female audience out there that is profound. They're incredibly potent. You can affect the bottom line. And so if the NFL is sitting back and they're saying the legal system has made its decision, as a result, we can't prohibit him from playing in this league in our estimation. Well, what do you do about that? Come with a definitive answer.
To me, it's still premature because we don't. There's 22 lawsuits. There's 22 civil suits. I don't know whether he's won or lost. That's why I think it's premature by the Cleveland Browns to give this man the most guaranteed money ever, $230
Okay, fair enough.
So we don't have those answers. So let me just say that.
Okay.
So first of all, I already think the rule is egregious in terms of 6 games for abusing children, women, sexual assault, domestic violence. All right, that rule needs to be changed. That's a minimum of 1 season. So DeShaun Watson, if all these 22 women lied on him and he wins every civil case, right? All 22 of them, go for it, break the bank. But that's not where we are right now, and we need more information. We need more information also from the Browns on how they got here, how the NFL got here to make this decision. To answer your question, Stephen A., and I understand it's a direct question, I just wanted to make those points, but as far as DeShaun Watson in terms of punishment, if he's losing these cases, he should not be playing this entire season. Maybe 2 seasons.
Okay, but no.
And that's why they gave him. That's why he only loses $1 million, Stephen A. Because they know punishment might come down. $1 million when you're about to get 220. No. That's a slap in the face to all women everywhere. I just need to say something. If he is guilty, Stephen A. Right? If he loses these cases, he's going to lose. They protected him, so he gets all his money.
But I'm still asking the question.
She didn't make a good point.
But that's what they do to black men. That's what they do. He has been exonerated.
If he is guilty. Right. If he is guilty. He was exonerated, dummy.
Right.
What are you talking about?
Right.
Well, not in the civil cases, not in the criminal case. The criminal case means you didn't do no crime.
Right.
Civil case, because now all you can do is not beyond a reasonable doubt. Yeah.
So
now all of a sudden, you don't have any credibility. He did not rape anyone. He's not even charged with rape.
Right.
But look,
he didn't rape nobody.
But look how she used that to say all women should be offended. All this and all that. To paint the propaganda. They try to tarnish, you know what I mean? They do it all the time. They do it all
abusing children, sexual assault, rape, domestic violence. She threw everything into the pot. on a man that has been exonerated.
Right. Exactly. And all men need to not watch her show or Stephen A. because you're a bitch. You see what I'm saying? As a man, to sit there and watch another black man have to go through you falsely accusing him of something. And right now, until you come and say he's guilty, why should he be punished? Why?
That's right. Yeah,
that's like if somebody goes and blames you for something. If I sit here and make an allegation against him or her, should they lose their job for 2 years until it plays throughout the court system? Right. Is that what you're saying?
Absolutely.
It makes no sense. You know, it's ridiculous.
Yeah. But that's like you said, like we talked about. They're crucifying him in the media. They're disregarding that he was exonerated of all the criminal charges. And now they're putting all the weight on these 22 civil suits or whatever. And it's like, well, it doesn't matter about a civil suit because he's already been exonerated of what they were trying to get him to go to court for.
Exactly.
But once again, they want to keep it going on. They want to keep it going on. Just because he's been exonerated and the grand jury didn't find anything after a thorough investigation, as the video prior to this said.
In two counties.
Right. And what more is the NFL? And what more is the NFL to do? He wasn't charged with anything according to their rules, the NFL rules. He broke no conduct rules. He broke none that would warrant him to be suspended for 2 years.
No.
And he's already had to sit out a year. He's already had to sit out a year.
Right.
You know what I mean?
But they continue to talk about him like he's guilty. And like we talked about before, this is still America. It's supposed to be innocent until proven guilty. Has he been proven guilty of anything? No. So he's innocent. But now we're going to flip the tables and we talk about him in the media as if he's guilty. So now the script has flipped. Now we're guilty before we have to prove ourselves innocent.
Right. Yep. And now let's take it a step further. You know, with the thing that happened with George Floyd, right? If that wasn't caught on camera, do you think those cops would have been charged?
Absolutely
I don't think so. Rodney, if we go to Rodney King, if that wasn't caught on camera, would those cops have been? And they got off, and they were on camera.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So to see things, right, and have hard rock evidence, you know what I'm saying? And you watch how it's flipped on the other end when it's the other color. You dig? But when it's black Israelite men, it's you know, he's this animal again. You
I don't care if they do find it.
And look how deep it go with the birth of a nation. They accused those men at that time to be savages. They painted the picture, right? So what did that woman say? She'd rather lose her life than to be touched by this animal.
And
you know what I mean? So it's the same
propaganda machine.
Same propaganda that's going on today.
Yeah, no different than the media. No different than the media. Absolutely. The media in this country is the biggest propaganda machine ever. Yeah.
And it's run by who? And it's run by who?
Jews, small hats.
The synagogue of Satan.
That's right.
The small
synagogue Ashkenazi fake Jew. Absolutely. You see what I'm saying? And then they'll you see what I'm saying? See, and that's why the reason why we're saying this, you got to know your enemy. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They'll come to us and act like, oh, yes, we are there. We for NAACP. We're da-da-da-da-da. No, you are the ones who's running these media, and you're the one that's portraying this stuff on us. You see what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
You make these people to dislike us, just like you did with the birth of a nation. You make them to dislike us, and then when they respond the way you have brainwashed them to believe in, then all of a sudden you want to come in and say, I'll defend you. Let me be your lawyer. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And we're going to get to that too. But let's go and show you how the same media, they can sit here and be on DeShaun Watson, but let's look and see with Jerry Jones, the owner of the Cowboys. You know what I mean? Let's go look up some stuff on him and notice they don't tell people that he should have to sit out. And he's the owner of a team.
And not only that, I got to throw my boy in there. He ain't my boy, but Snyder. Dan Snyder, same thing.
Oh, yeah.
All his accusations and that push for him to sell a team. But you never saw them, Stephen A., Molly, or any of them.
No.
Come out and be as venomous as they were you know,
yeah.
towards
all
DeShaun
women
Watson.
need to boycott this, and all women.
They ain't say about
that.
Snyder or Jerry Jones.
Yeah.
So,
and the white boy, that white boy that played in the NFL that beat the crap out of his black girlfriend. Yeah, they didn't go off on that.
I ain't hear about that.
Yeah. I mean, I don't even know his name.
He beat her to the point he thought she was dead. He left the house and went back to the house and was surprised that she was still alive. They talked about it for a couple of days, and then it was out the news.
All the news.
Yep. Yep. Well, let's go and show this. Let's go show these articles, right? So you see, in 2014, right? Jerry Jones accused of sexual assault and lawsuit related. Okay, so let's click on this article. Now, Jerry Jones accused of sexual assault and lawsuit related to racy photos. The woman who took racy photos of Jerry Jones in 2009 is suing the Cowboys owner. Now, this was in 2014, right? The woman in Dallas filed a lawsuit this week that accuses Cowboys owner Jerry Jones of sexual assault. Okay? We go down here. Cowboys are also named as a defendant in the lawsuit. These allegations are completely false, is what they're saying. But here's the racy photos that hit the internet. Okay? As you can see, here's the photos, right? This is the owner in the NFL.
Yep.
Right? See that woman right down there? What is she doing? Look.
Yep.
See that? And he was accused of sexual assault. But guess what? Look, in the woman's bathroom and everything. She ain't got her pants on or nothing, right?
Yep.
But they didn't let this hit all in the media all like that, right?
No. I ain't never seen them pictures.
Yeah. You know?
Because he's an owner.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I could show you in February of this year, they had another settlement and they settled that case. He settled, right? That woman got paid and they made a non-disclosure agreement, you know what I'm saying, that she couldn't talk about it. They couldn't talk to the media. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
And at the same point in time, in February of this year, you know what I mean, they had supposedly some guy that was working on their staff was peeping at the cheerleaders. You see what I'm saying? And got busted, and they sued him, and he settled that for $2.4 million.
Right.
But guess what? That was in February, and you still ain't making no big deal about this.
Yeah, ain't heard nothing about it.
And you had DeShaun Watson willing to fight all 22 cases to show that I'm innocent.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
He didn't settle. Now he could have settled outside of court.
Yep.
Let it go away. But they mad because he didn't do that. Because now he admits his guilt.
Oh yeah.
He's saying I didn't do it. What they're saying I did. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So now he's willing to fight it, but Jerry Jones couldn't fight it. You did?
Right.
So because guess what? The proof was in the pudding.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We see the pictures right there. So with the pictures,
Yeah.
guess what? He couldn't fight it. So what did he do? He settled outside of court. You know what I mean? Paid the ransom and kept it moving. Hush hush.
Yep.
This man over here innocent. He said, I'm willing to fight. I'm willing to fight all 22 cases against me.
And
But
now
he
they
was looking
still-
at criminal. He's looking at criminal charges until that got dismissed. They were going to try to throw him in jail. You know what I'm
But
saying?
Jerry Jones, what happened to him? Nothing. Crickets.
Yeah, and you got pictures with him in there, and the woman said he forcibly grabbed her breast and all kinds of stuff, and made her watch her with that other woman perform oral sex on him. That's what she said. And I didn't see the NFL come in and say you're suspended, you're kicked out of the league, you can't receive no money as an owner. They didn't do none of that. And the media, better. Y'all know better to say anything about somebody rich like that, because number one, they would get you. He would sue you for slander. That's number one. Or number two, you'll end up at the bottom of a lake if you keep running your mouth and you report on this.
Because he got money like that. Yeah.
That's right.
And
you see what I'm saying?
You got these cats in the media telling the man to settle, even though he said he's absolutely innocent.
Yeah, they want him to prove. They want him to admit some type of guilt.
Yeah, so that they have
can take it and run with it.
Right.
Yep.
Right.
Let's show that clip, Bob. I'm glad you brought that up. Let's go and show that.
And the statement from Rusty Hardin yesterday, we're thrilled that the Brazoria County Grand Jury cleared DeShaun Watson of the one remaining criminal allegation. We've known all along what people who learn the facts also know. DeShaun Watson committed no crimes. In fact, 2 separate grand juries have now found that there wasn't even probable cause to believe he committed a crime. That gets back to what we were talking about earlier. The grand jury makes decisions based on what the prosecutor puts on the tee. And the prosecutor has incredibly broad leeway to decide what will and won't be presented and how it will and won't be presented to a grand jury. So it's possible that even if the worst of the allegations are accurate, it technically doesn't become a crime under the laws of the state of Texas. Although based on some of the allegations we've seen, I find that hard to believe. And I think Watson's camp was at least bracing for the possibility of some misdemeanor indictments.
Like he knows the man is guilty.
Yeah,
that
still doesn't misdemeanor. You know what I mean? He got found totally exonerated. Right. Why are you still talking about misdemeanor?
And they're still the whole tone is they can't cover it up. Their whole tone is because that's their belief is that he's guilty. Forget what the court says.
Right.
I'm still going to put my spin on this, and I'm still going to put it out into the airwaves that I don't care what the grand jury said. There's still got to be some truth to what these women are saying. So he's got to be guilty in some way.
Because it's 22 of them. So it's something.
Yeah.
All 22
all of them
lying.
Can possibly be lying. Right. You know.
The fact that you have 22 separate lawsuits, Peter, where there are allegations of a violation of persons' rights, a sexual assault, and other misconduct, and hey, if he wins all 22, more power to him. And he apparently plans to fight all 22. That's a different issue we need to get into. He apparently intends to fight all 22, and he may win all 22. But somewhere between 1 and 22, you get to a point where I agree with you. Take a step back and say, what's really going on here? And you had 4 teams throw caution to the wind because a competition broke out. Well, and Peter, one of the things that I think everyone lost sight of on this, DeShaun Watson didn't want out of Houston because of his contract. 4 months before he started campaigning for a trade, he signed a $40 million per year contract. He was due to make $35 million fully guaranteed this season because they don't want the 2022 season to be undermined by every Cleveland Browns game being presented with the broadcast partners having to point out that that guy out there playing quarterback for the Browns has 22 civil lawsuits alleging sexual misconduct pending against him. Because at the end of the day, there's still a lot of football fans that don't know. And they're not going to find out until the NFL is forced to tell everybody about it during Browns games. That's why they do this. And that's the thing, Peter, that Watson and Mulugeta and Hardin and Haslam and Andrew Berry and Kevin Stefanski, they all better be ready for it. Because I've already heard the rumblings that it's coming if these cases don't get settled. And that's why I said a week ago when we heard about the trade, first thing I said on PFTPM, take that money that you just got, DeShaun Watson, and settle these cases. Give these 22 individuals the justice that they want and turn the page on this and move on. That's the only play right now, and I don't think that's going to happen. I think he's going to keep fighting, and I think he believes there's a way that he gets 22 outcomes in his favor in the civil courts. There's another approach that the NFL could take. They could impose a suspension based upon what they currently know, the behavior that currently happened. And I know people say, well, how can you suspend him if he wasn't charged with a crime? Go back and study the Ben Roethlisberger case. And frankly, the letter that was sent by the commissioner to Roethlisberger in 2010, you can take chunks of that and say that applies directly to DeShaun Watson. It's behaviors that require an intervention. There's been an admission by Rusty Hardin that these massages that he actively sought out, that Watson actively sought out on social media, at times became voluntarily sexual encounters. So the commissioner could very easily say, there's something here that requires therapy and counseling and absence from the game. They could do that while the cases play out and reserve the right to suspend him even more if they choose once the cases play out. But you still have a window of DeShaun Watson playing in 2022 where these cases are still pending. I just think he needs to settle the cases. And Peter,
hear that?
All right. What I was saying was when you got 2 men on here that had already decided that this young man is guilty, their whole conversation that we just were listening to is all about trying to punish him in some way. Even though at this point, he's still innocent until proven guilty.
And he says,
you continue to talk about him like he was found guilty of something. I don't care if it's 1,000 women. Women lie about sexual assault every day.
And we're going to show clips on that. And now here's the deal. You saying he should settle. He's not settling that. He's fighting for his name, and you say he should go ahead and settle.
Right.
Why? If I'm innocent, what am I going to settle for?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Somebody's
insane.
lying on me? Yeah.
That's insane.
But you see, even what they're showing is, now I see your character. Because if you know what I mean, are guilty or anything to protect your money, you'll settle, do whatever, and you don't care about what's right and what's wrong. You don't really care about what's right and what's wrong.
Amen.
This is the same media. This is the same media that'll sit here and say, well, like he said, okay, he sought out these sexual relationships. So what? He's a heterosexual man. Those are women.
25 years old.
So the bottom line is, but he's wrong. Because he may have went and got to the masseuses. Hey, you go to the club, a lot of times we know you'll be dancing with a woman. She'll back that thing up. You'll get hard on the floor. You see what I'm saying? Show them how you do it, how you used to do it. And show them how you used to do it. When you see that face come on Bob Young, you know he was grinding. He's in the club grinding. But back to my point, you know what I'm saying? If you get to the point where you get erect, now can women run and say, he sexually assaulted me because I was dancing and I turned around and he touched me with his penis. He touched me. You see what I'm saying? Because if that's the case, that
everybody. Everybody.
Young.
Yeah, everybody.
Young.
Just like we talked about before. When you allow somebody to go back 40 years. 40 years ago, I was 25, 26 years old.
Yeah.
And even going back even earlier, like we said, when we were in high school, junior high school, when we were in college, all men, testosterone field, was grabbing ass and doing all kind of different stuff. And all this does is open the door for anybody. If anybody back in the day that you did something to, you grabbed the ass, you grabbed the titty, you did this, that, another, blah. All in, just like Tim saying, dancing, going to dances and getting up on people and grinding. So
and if your penis touches her, sexual assault.
And you've made you've made something of yourself. You're in the NFL, you didn't hit the lottery, you're a CEO of some company or whatever. That woman, because of the way they have this society set up now, can come back and say, back in 1986 in Morgantown, I was dancing with Bob and he did this, that, and other to me. And I just didn't say anything about it because I knew he was a gangster and he might do something to me if I brought something to the table. So now, because everybody else is coming out, I feel encouraged to tell my story and for everyone to hear my voice. What he doesn't know is after I left the lair, I went home and cried myself to sleep, and not knowing what to do, I just didn't deal
and I
with
can't get on the dance floor ever again because I am scarred emotionally.
I've got PTSD, and that's what we're seeing now. That's what we're seeing now. Just like we talk about R. Kelly, just like we talk about Bill Cosby. Now they're doing DeShaun Watson the same way that they did those brothers.
Exactly.
And it's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous.
And that same Mike Florio, you sit here and you talk about this man having heterosexual relations with women, if they're consensual, you want to punish him for that. But you are the same guy that when Carl Nassib come out as a homosexual gay player,
he's so courageous. He's so courageous.
No, why ain't he? He's having sex with men. You see what I mean?
That's right.
Why are y'all sitting up here? Why ain't he being suspended of the league? Why ain't he being thrown out of the league? Because y'all, But y'all, that's not misconduct.
Yeah, that's misconduct.
Conduct unbecoming.
Exactly. But that's not misconduct to these people who want to tell you what's morally right and what's morally wrong.
That's right.
Where does your morals come from? Because if y'all want to get into the Jews' morals and we want to talk about them in the Talmud, we'll talk about how y'all morally say it's okay for you to molest 3-year-old children.
That's right. That's what it says.
Do you really want to go there and open up that door? Do y'all really want that? You see what I'm saying?
That's right.
We can go pull your book up and show what your morals are. So don't you sit here and try to tell a heterosexual man because he's having consensual sexual sex with a woman that he's wrong and he needs to be punished for that.
That's right. That's right. Amen.
See, you know, and the sad thing is you do have women out here who have been sexually assaulted.
Absolutely.
And you
get
these women who are money hungry or they see the limelight or see this, that, and the third. And those women, to me, are the ones that get slighted. Because they actually gone through. They're not seeking. They're not. They don't want to be known. They don't want. You know what I'm saying? They ain't looking for no money. They ain't looking for no civil suit. You know what I mean? They want what was done to them. They want the person to be prosecuted. And that's the difference. Now that's the difference.
That's the difference.
You know what I'm saying?
And another difference is, and I've talked about this before, there is no woman that I know in my family or in my surrounding circle that would wait if they were sexually assaulted or raped.
It's reported immediately.
40 years to come. Absolutely.
They ain't worrying about your career. They ain't worrying about his career.
They ain't worried about.
They ain't worrying about his career now.
Yeah.
Why would you worry about it then?
Yeah. You know
let's take it.
Could they not? And like you said before, okay, go ahead. Yeah, you mentioned the Bible.
Yeah, let's take
it flow, baby.
Okay. Yeah. Let's take it biblically. If a man, the Bible specifically says, if a man rape a woman, you see what I'm saying, and she cries out, then the truth of the matter is he's supposed to be stoned, right?
That's right.
He's supposed to be stoned. He's supposed to be whatever. Why? Because when he went after her and she cried out, whatever, he's supposed to be stoned. But if you lay with that man and you didn't cry out, you see what I'm saying, and you was betrothed to another man, you were, both of you supposed to be stoned. You see what I'm saying? If you were married to another man, both of you supposed to be stoned. You see what I'm saying? And if he laid with you and it was consensual, he's supposed to marry you. Why?
That's right.
Because he's trespassed against your father. You see what I'm saying? Because your father and him are supposed to settle it up, because you ain't supposed to go lay with another man's daughter except you go settle that up with her father. You see what I'm saying? So see, if we done things biblically, you see what I'm saying?
This wouldn't be happening. We wouldn't be having this conversation, because not to
if it did happen, as Tim just said, it's taken care of swiftly.
There you go.
There is no gray area. Well, take this boulder to the dome. Yeah.
Exactly. So if DeShaun Watson had consensual sex with them women, that's 22 women that he got to take care of. You see what I'm saying?
Yes, sir. But check this. We're just taking a step further now. If DeShaun Watson was taught what the Bible says about how you should conduct yourself as a man, you know what I'm saying? Then he wouldn't have put himself in those situations.
That's right.
You know what I mean?
That's right.
Because the Bible says, be above reproach. You know what I'm saying? When you out here, if he was again, living the way he was supposed to be living. You dig what I'm saying?
But he grew up. I think he grew up. He didn't grow up with his father. He didn't grow up with his father.
Single. He didn't mention.
So we see what happens when you eliminate the fathers out of the homes. You see what I'm saying? So say if he was guilty. Say if he was guilty.
Right.
He had no one to teach him that was wrong.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So, but again, like you say, biblically, people don't know the word of God, and around we go. And around we go.
And around we go. Exactly. Everybody, and now because we're under these people and these heathens, they're basically, now what is that doing? That's creating animosity between the males and the females, you know what I mean? To the point you don't want to go dealing with no female, you know what I'm saying? And so what are they trying to do? They're trying to gradually slide you over into homosexuality. You see what I'm saying? You know? They try to make...
And they grabbing a lot of women because, you know, a lot of dudes not going for it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But the women out here, they long, they say, well, you know, that propaganda is being pushed. You don't need a man. You don't need a man. They live with women. So, and we know that women outnumber men. So, again, who's that propaganda really being pushed towards? You know, we know it's towards the women. We know it's towards the children. You know, but stand-up men ain't having it. You don't care how much you put that crap on TV. We not having it. Exactly. So who are the most vulnerable people right here? The women and the children. You know what I'm saying? Absolutely. But now you cut the head off. A lot of these women don't have the protection that they need. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? Which goes back to what we talked about before, walking in authority. You don't have your covering. So now you're not covered as a woman. Your child is not covered. And now when they get out here and they do things, and there's no knock on DeShaun, but we know that men get out here and they go, you know, all in the flesh. You know what I'm saying? Right. Whoremongering. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now, if this brother was taught about whoremongering, maybe wouldn't put himself in this situation. You know what I mean? Yeah. But again, they stripped our identity, try to dumb us down to get us to act according to the way, you know what I mean, the ways of the world. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And then when you see this stuff happen, now you want to crucify this man and chop him down, and you know what I mean? So it's like, come on, man. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. And like you saying, it's all systematic. It's all systematic. Like we've been talking about when we talking about the men walking in authority. DeShaun Watson didn't have a father, and then he's coming up in this society that, you know, it's okay, and we can't act like when we was 25 we wasn't out here getting it in. So I mean, you ain't gonna look at him like okay, but it's just like still you understand certain things, and they have also by proxy made these women like children.
Yes.
Because you can do anything as a woman. It's empowerment. You can slap the shit.
I'll be.
You can slap a man, beat a man, this, that, and other. There's no consequences for it. You can cry rape and find out that you told a lie, and for the most part, there's no consequences for it. Yeah, there are some women that have got, you know, consequences for that, but for the most part, there's no consequences for it. So you have basically obstinate children that there's no consequences for anything. And just like Mike Florio is talking about to pay these women off, just like Tim said, why would I pay somebody off that's lying on me? That means that anybody, all they have to do is make the allegation.
There you go.
They can be proven in court that there's no evidence leading to that, and then file a civil suit and still get money for lying.
Exactly.
That's crazy.
And let's go and show that and segue and show that that's what happens. Let's show that there are women that go around.
That was totally unnecessary. That wasn't even necessary.
Petition is granted.
The end of Brian Banks' ordeal was marked by tears after a judge threw out the rape charge that had sent him to prison for more than 5 years.
My only dream in the world was to just be free and to have the same opportunity as everybody here.
He was a 16-year-old star linebacker with a full-ride scholarship to USC and a dream to play in the NFL, when in 2002, a classmate accused Banks of raping her in the stairwell of their Long Beach high school. Although Banks insisted it was consensual and there was no sex, he told KCBS-TV that his defense attorney at the time gave him a choice: plead no contest to rape or risk a trial that could send him to prison for life.
When you go into that courtroom, the jury is going to see a big black teenager and you're automatically going to be assumed guilty. Those are her exact words.
He took the deal, went to prison, and had to register as a sex offender. He thought that was the end of it. But after he was released, came a surprise: a friend request on Facebook from his accuser. Juanetta Gibson.
I remember closing the laptop just like real quick and just like thinking like, what did I just see?
So Banks arranged a meeting with a private investigator who videotaped the whole thing. Gibson later explained she hadn't wanted to say that publicly for fear of losing a $1.5 million settlement that her family had gotten after suing the school district.
I may not ever get the answers as to why I was supposed to go through what I went through, but I know that I'm here today and I remain unbroken.
Unbroken and working to get his life back on track. Those dreams of playing in the NFL, he says, might be realized yet.
A promising college football player's life dreams shattered as he was falsely accused of rape. His accuser, 19-year-old Nikki Yovino, told police that she went to a party where two football players forced her to have sex in a bathroom. She later admitted that she had sex willingly and was afraid that if she admitted that, another student wouldn't want to date her. Malik St. Hilaire speaks out here exclusively tonight for the first time about the case. But first, Trace Gallagher live in our West Coast newsroom with the backstory here. Hi, Trace.
Hi, Martha. At the time, Nikki Yovino was attending Sacred Heart University in Fairfield, Connecticut. She claimed the incident happened at an off-campus party, that two Sacred Heart football players pulled her into a bathroom, took turns holding her down, and sexually assaulted her. Yovino claims she repeatedly told the men she didn't want to be there, that she had friends waiting for her outside, and to please let her go. Both men admitted having sex with her, but said it was consensual. The players were not arrested, but one lost his scholarship, and both say they were pressured to leave school while they awaited disciplinary action. Then Nikki Yovino drastically changed her story, admitting in a sworn statement that she made the whole thing up because, quote, it was the first thing that came to mind and she didn't want to lose another male student as a friend and potential boyfriend. The document goes on to say Yovino hoped that when the other student heard the allegation, it would, quote, make him angry and sympathetic to her. Yovino was sentenced to a year in jail for falsely reporting an incident and interfering with police. Malik St. Hilaire, one of the players wrongly accused, says he spent 18 months trying to keep his name out of the news, but finally he felt compelled to appear at the sentencing to talk about the significance of Yovino's actions. Watch.
My life has been altered and shaped in ways that nobody here could have imagined. I just hope that, she knows what she's done, and the fact that my life will never be the same. Like, I have anxiety, I have PTSD from this.
Yovino made more headlines during her sentencing by appearing to roll her eyes and smirk several times. Her attorney claimed she was simply moving her eyes in innocuous ways, adding that she was forced to stand in handcuffs for 30 minutes and couldn't get her hair out of her eyes. He called reports of her bad behavior a manufactured storyline.
Today we're going to clean up the infection. We're going to tell the truth. Mr. Monzel, in your lie detector test, you were asked, did you have any sexual contact with any of your three daughters? You said no. And the lie detector said there was no deception.
Yes, thank God.
How does that feel for you? And that your daughters know it?
Well, I felt they always did know it.
You felt they always did know it?
Mm-hmm.
And didn't speak it because?
They didn't know no better. They wasn't told no different.
Miss Yvonne took a lie detector test and said, did you make up or exaggerate any stories with the intention to harm Monzel? She responded no, and the answer was deceptive. Then he asked you, did you say something to the effect of, I'm going to make sure you're never happy again? She responded no, and the answer was deceptive. So, Miss Yvonne has acknowledged that her story about you touching your children in a sexual way was not true. So, Miss Yvonne, is there anything that you wanted to say to Mr. Monzel?
Why didn't you fight for him harder if you knew he could do it?
And what is it that he could have said that would have made you not believe the lie you were telling? Miss Yvonne, you told the lie. It was a lie, and you told it. And you gotta own it.
I'm sorry. I need you to say that you did not rape your girls. I need to hear it come out your mouth the way I've always heard it, Ma.
I apologize for accusing you of raping them. Please forgive me.
You don't have to forgive her. You don't have to.
I cannot accept your apology because it's not sincere. Deep down, I know that you didn't believe that. You knew I had no sexual desires for my children. For 25 years, this thing has broken me. You don't know. It has affected my life in ways I can't even count. The things that you did. This is not no game. This is these children's lives. And it's just a demon in you that you need to deal with.
I'm sorry for having gone what you had to go through.
A community rallies around a 9-year-old boy falsely accused of sexual assault.
She does not belong in this neighborhood.
Residents united taking aim at the woman the internet has dubbed Corner Store Caroline.
The son grabbed my ass.
Teresa Klein gained infamy in the Flatbush community after accusing a child, now identified as only Jeremiah, of sexual assault. The claim debunked by surveillance footage first obtained by Pix11. Community members gathered Monday evening to discuss what happened and what needs to be done.
If you're going to move into our neighborhoods, there has to be respect.
They are targeting our children, and we will not have it.
The mother and child at the center of the incident broke their silence for the first time.
That day, this fear was placed into my children's heart. Having to explain to your 9-year-old son what assault means, what sexual assault means.
God is trusting us. God is trusting us on everything. Treat people different. Treat people the same way you want to be treated.
While many have called for Klein's arrest, Brooklyn Borough President Eric Adams confirms that authorities are looking into the matter.
The DA is currently investigating.
The family now hoping to put the saga behind them.
I don't forgive this woman at all. I think she was crazy. I think she had something going on with her.
All right, I'll go ahead and take it. Exodus chapter 20, verse 16. Thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbor.
Amen. All right. So we gave you the examples where you see women lie. And women will bear false witness against their neighbor. Absolutely. And the Lord didn't put that in there because he didn't think people will do that.
That's right.
He put that in there because people do that. And morally, he tells you, you don't bear false witness against your neighbor.
That's
you
right.
don't lie
That's
on
right.
Mm-hmm. And we see, you know what I mean? People will do it, for monetary gain, as in the first woman. She got monetary gain. She got 1.5 out of that.
1.5. Yeah.
The other girl did it because she wanted somebody else to like her. She wanted people to feel sorry for her. She wanted this guy that she liked to feel sorry for, right? Then you get this older woman that comes into the community and she's lying on a child. And then you got a wife who lies on her husband to her children.
Right, lied to her children. And then did you see her response?
Yeah. When he said, I don't forgive you. The evil that looked at she gave him even in the interview.
Yeah.
He say she had a demon in her. He said that demon in you.
Yeah, because we didn't just took the lie detector test and it just said you was lying. So she asked you, do you got anything to say to him? You should have fought for them harder from your lie.
All right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
You run around here lying, and I'm supposed to sit up here and whatever. It's my word against your word.
Mm-hmm.
At that moment, they can choose to believe whoever they want to believe. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And you got these girls believing, because I saw some of the other clips. They believed because of what their mother was telling them,
right,
that he was doing that to them.
Yeah, yeah.
Until they got older, and now they wanted to know, like, you know, what's up? I don't remember that. All I remember is what mom was telling me.
Right.
That's right.
Yeah.
So
so look at the media. So if you have a family, somebody that close knit, and you have some, you know, and they knew him, you know what I mean? If a mom could turn them against the dad like that, then imagine what the media can do with people you have no clue
absolutely
about their personal lives or anything.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
And they telling you that story, and
they run that clip
to believe it.
Absolutely. And they run it 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So what you gonna do? You know what I mean?
Exactly.
People start to believe.
Even though people are saying he's not guilty, and they ain't even making it look like, you know, if you don't really know the details of the story, they're making it look like he's accused of rape. He ain't even accused of rape. You see what I'm saying?
And what they do is when they bring those allegations up, they bring up past issues of maybe such situations where a person may have been guilty. You know what I mean? Look at him. He's just like this, making those generalizations. You know what I mean? And putting stigmas on people who, you know what I mean? That it doesn't even fit them. You know what I mean? But to fit their narrative, again, like to go back, like the dude in the ESPN interview, he was saying how DeShaun should settle, right? So if he settled, that's still, now you're saying if he settled and admitted, like, and paid the money, right? And so you would still wouldn't want the NFL to suspend him? Like, what are you saying?
Right.
Like, because all he was saying was pretty much is he don't care if he's innocent.
Yeah.
He should pay something. He should pay
settle
if he don't settle it, right?
Yeah.
If he don't settle it, but pretty much what you're saying, if he don't settle with them, then he needs to be suspended and his money needs to be tapped. So what it boils down to, if the girls don't get it out of him, then the NFL should sit him down and take his money. You see what I'm saying? Right. So either way, you're guilty. Either way, it don't matter that you're exonerated from the crimes, from the criminal charges. Just the simple fact that these people said this about you, then you should come out of pocket. Come on, man. That don't make no sense.
And fighting for your name and your integrity is not a good thing.
Right.
Exactly.
Because you're lying.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because pretty much what they're saying, he's lying and he's privileged. Some kind of way he's going to pay his way out of this situation. You know what I mean?
Well, let me say this, because I'm up here in the city, and I was talking to Brother Tim the other day about the local media. Now, Cleveland is one of the most segregated cities in this country. And you can tell the divide, and people don't want to talk about this, but a lot of the divide is on a racist, liberal type thing that's going on with the LGBT and all these feminist groups and all these groups up here, which are predominantly white women. And once again, we can go back to the birth of the nation thing that we just saw. And I was very clear. And now these people that's on the radio, because we live in this liberal, politically correct thing, all these people in the media up here are saying the same thing that the national media is saying. I told
they're doing this repeating. It's all a script.
We have a woman up here that's been a Browns reporter for years. Her name is Mary Kay Cabot. She was on a national radio show, and she was like, "Well, what's the temperature in Cleveland with the fans and this, that, and other, and blah, blah, blah." Oh, it's about 50-50, blah, blah, blah. Some people, you know, this, that, and other, which is like I told them, that's a lie. That's a lie. Anybody up here that's a Cleveland Browns fan, they understand business. A lot of the people are pissed off because they was Baker supporters. And now we have two. Now we've gone from, we got 2 white quarterbacks to 2 black quarterbacks, and a lot of it is a racial undertone. Right. They want to, and like I said, we can always go back to the birth of the nation. It's a racial undertone because anybody that I've talked to, I live on the east side of Cleveland, which is predominantly. West side of Cleveland is something different, and it's predominantly those folks that have a problem, even though he's been exonerated of any criminal wrongdoing. They still want to hold on to the fact, well, he had to do something. and the media here in the city, and there's some black guys on the radio too, but I know they're trying to keep their jobs. So that even that pressure from the small head media, even have the brothers in the city saying, well, 22 people, how can they all be lying? And that's the whole thing, even up here. The way that they portray it in the media, from the national media's point of view, because she went on, oh, yes, the city is split. There's turmoil and this, that, and that. There ain't no turmoil here. The people that are in turmoil are those groups, that little pocket of people. And then that little pocket of people get the biggest broadcast, so it makes it look like, oh, dang, they're going to burn the city down because of DeShaun Watson. And it ain't like that. It ain't like that. Yeah.
You follow that narrative.
And let's just address the 22 people real quick. All right. Number one, DeShaun Watson wanted out of his contract. I mean, he wanted I was just about to say that. I was just about to say that. So the fact that he didn't want to be with there, you know what I mean? Now he says, okay, trade me. So if this guy who now is the owner is pissed off about this, if he got to get out of a $40-some million contract, or you know what I mean, however he was going to have to pay per year, 35, whatever, 22 women, right? And one of them was trying to get $100,000. So you put the 22 times 100, just say it was 20 million. 22. Even if it was 2.2, but it's 20 million regardless. You know what I'm saying? The bottom line is, even if if you can get him in trouble for conduct detrimental to the team, cancel that contract. Guess what? You're off of the hook 20 million, even regardless.
I didn't say $20 million.
Easy.
Yeah. So the bottom line is, does he have a motive? Now let's look and say, does he have a motive?
Okay.
To raise up this thing? To raise up 20-some women and offer them some money, and they think, all I gotta say is this. All I gotta say, fine.
Because they gonna win regardless. They win regardless.
Yeah, so I get some money, whatever, get him, okay, fine. And that's why, if that's what happened, because we don't know, I'm just telling you a hypothetical, just like this media is telling you a hypothetical. But the fact that none of this came out until he wanted to get out of that team, and he wanted to trade.
Now we got 22 people involved in a class action lawsuit, basically.
Exactly. You see what I'm saying? So there's motive there, and there's financial gain on both sides and all this type of stuff. So y'all playing it in the media like y'all ignorant, y'all don't know anything. You're a liar, and y'all keep bearing false witness against people, and that is a sin. And if you keep trespassing against people, you know what I mean? God will He will bring that back on you. Now, the one thing I also want to say, as far as the young boy who said, and even the father whose wife lied on him, that they couldn't forgive, you gotta forgive. You see what I'm saying?
That's right.
You gotta forgive. You know what I'm saying? That's not an option. If you want the Lord to forgive you, even though it's wrong, if they bear false witness on you, but you still must forgive. You see what I'm saying?
That's essential. Right. There ain't no way around that.
Yeah.
And it's important that if DeShaun Watson happened to come across this video, I encourage you, brother, give your life to the Most High through our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. Now, because it's a target on this brother's back. Now, he done pissed off. Now, we know that the whole thing, let's dive into this real quick. We know that the whole NFL is a one big fraternity. All those owners, they protect each other, right? So, he pissed off the Texas owner. He got something against him. Cleveland come in and say, well, okay, we'll take that off your back. We'll deal with him another way. Now, if he goes in and he wins like he's supposed to, because the team is set up now, let's watch how this whole thing plays out. If he comes in, and they don't give him the protection he needs, he gets hurt. They're gonna try him that way, or it's gonna be some other kind of way they're gonna try to end him, because now he done pissed these people off.
Right.
He done pissed the small hat media. He done pissed all these folks off, these owners. Now,
got a target on you.
So now he has a target on him. The only way to get this target off his back is, you know what I'm saying, is the Most High. You know what I mean? Other than that, it's not gonna end well. It's not. Because they got a target on him. Definitely. Because like you said, and that what made me think about it. I thought about it before that, but that really made me think about it when you brought the point up about the owner being pissed off, and that was true. None of this came about until he said he wanted to get traded. but nobody's making that connection. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Let's go ahead and finish it out. Yep.
All right. Yep. So let's give them the scripture, you know what I'm saying, for DeShaun Watson, in case, like you said, if you come across this video, you know, anybody know him or whatever, regardless, you know what I mean? But anybody in general, if you go through this stuff, you understand it, you need this scripture. So let's close out with this.
We're in the book of Isaiah, chapter 54, verse 17. No weapon formed against thee shall prosper, and every tongue that shall rise against thee in judgment thou shalt condemn. This is the heritage of the servants of the Lord, and their righteousness is of me, saith the Lord.
Amen. All right. So like we said, in closing, you know what I'm saying? If anytime you got somebody that bears false witness against you, that's where you got to take it to the Lord. You know what I'm saying? And you stand, you know what I mean? If you got to stand, you know, just like the one young man, the college football player. You see what I'm saying? Well, the high school football player that one woman, you know what I mean, came back and hit him on Facebook. You know, she lied on that man. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
She put her tongue on that man and bared false witness against that man. But you see, after he went through his whole ordeal, at the end of it, you see what I'm saying? The Lord, she rose her tongue and it came back on her. But that's the thing, when you go speaking against God's people, you know what I mean? And that's why we do these videos, to let you know, we got to know who we are. We got to understand, you know what I mean? When we sin and when we trespass, being a young man and you going out here and just thinking that you can lay with any woman and all this type of stuff, all it takes is the wrong woman. The wrong woman, especially when you got money, you have a target on your back. You see what I'm saying? That's why you need to be praying and asking the Lord to lead you to the woman that he wants you to be with. You see what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Because as you can see, that's why he tells us not to be into fornication and all this, because you don't know who you're going to get yourself attached to, and that person can come back and try to take you for everything that you got. You see what I'm saying?
Oh yeah. Or poison your kids against you like that woman.
Absolutely.
And when you're caught up in sins like that too, you know you're out of the will of the Most High. So he can take his protection off you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you don't want to frustrate the grace of the Most High. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He blessed you. Yep. You know, I say this to all the athletes out there, you know, or aspiring athletes, you know, as a person who's been there, you don't want to play that game. You don't want to be out here among these wolves without the Lord's protection. So again, you know, so do it right. Get in His will. Get in His will.
Amen. All right. So with that one, you know what I mean, we'll close it down. But like you said, you know what I mean, no weapon formed against you shall prosper. You know what I mean? You stand in the ways of the Lord. You know what I mean? And if somebody comes, then you speak the truth. You know what I'm saying? Let the truth set you free. All right, y'all have a good one. God bless each of y'all. Thanks y'all for watching.